Good afternoon. I am just outside my office. I've hung the hammock on the front porch and I've bundled up against the cool afternoon weather, but it is a beautiful day for social distancing. I wanted to take a moment and address some of the thoughts that are going on, the discussions that are being had, and the ideas that are being shared about the source of this COVID-19 virus. It's tempting for some to lay the blame at the foot of a nation. Others who are blaming certain persons in leadership for what they have or haven't done. And then, of course, the most popular of all is the tendency to blame God. That God is judging us as a nation or as a world, that God is bringing us into final tribulation, that God desires to test and to teach us through this. And that needs a Wesleyan voice. For many of you, the distinctions of theology might not mean a whole lot. I could throw out words like Arminian and Calvin, and they might not mean anything to you. But as a preacher, they mean a whole lot. And I want to express and I want to share that this is not God's testing. This is not God's punishment. Our God is a God of love, and He created our world and called it good. This is the story of Genesis 1 and 2, that He hung the moon and the stars and the sun in place. He separated the light from the dark and the water from the earth, and He called it good. And when He created you and I, man and woman, in His likeness, He said that we were very good. God's desire is not for diseases like COVID-19. But then you and I don't live in the Garden of Eden. We don't live in Genesis 1 and 2. Genesis 3 happened, and Satan tempted Eve, and she with her husband Adam ate of the forbidden fruit. We call this the fall. And we live in that world, that fallen post-Genesis 3 world. Not only did mankind sin, not only have we original sin and groaning in our spirits, but the nature around us is no longer perfect. There is groaning from the earth herself as we wait for the end of Revelation, when He shall come again, the new heaven and the new earth, restored unto God. But for now, we are living in a post-Genesis 3, disease-riddled, sinful, broken world. And that's where COVID-19 comes from. It's a result of a world that is broken and fallen and hurting. It's a natural disease. It was a mutation of a virus. This wasn't God's punishment. This wasn't an international conspiracy. This isn't God's testing. This is a result of the human condition and the fallenness of our world. But I wanted to share again the hope that we have in our tradition, that God is a God of love and of grace. And yes, He has a plan for us. He knows what is coming because He is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He is present in all of our moments. And He is our ultimate healer. His desire is to see the earth healed. His desire is to see those who are sick with the COVID virus healed. This is His will. That there would be good things for us, blessings for us. And so He mourns when we mourn. He weeps when we weep. And He sees us in our social distancing. He knows how you are feeling, and if you are isolated or lonely or hopeful or scared or fearful. He knows what celebrations are on pause because of this. He sees your heart. He desires to be with you. And while I encourage you to learn from this, to learn new rhythms of slowing down, to learn to draw close to God in difficult times, learn from him in this time. But don't blame him. This isn't God's will for us. This is the result of a broken world, post Genesis 3, post the fall. And it is a reality of our human condition until Christ comes again in his glory and we see him face to face. I leave you with these thoughts. Be blessed and be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Amen.